And we've been hearing a lot lately about dozens of other habitable planets being discovered. And today, NASA is hosting a discussion panel about these habitable planets that are just a short, 10, 20 or so light years away from us. So RT correspondent Megan Lopez joined us earlier from NASA, and I first asked her if we were close to finding another life form in our solar system.
We're absolutely closer, and I think that is the word, is closer but not close enough. The reason we're closer is because technology has developed so much. So what these panelists have really taken the time to do today was to disseminate some of the technological advances that they are achieving right now and that they are shooting for in the future, and kind of breaking down what they're hoping to gain from each one. Now, obviously, there are a number of challenges that face each one of these new technological advances, but scientists Sarah Seeger kind of breaks down for us what the chances are of us finding life on another planet.
What are the chances that the James Webb will find signs of life? And so I will answer it in two ways. In one way, we have to get really lucky. Every small star has to have a planet in its habitable zone, and each of those planets, most of them would have to have life, and most of that life would have to actually generate a byproduct gas that could fill the atmosphere. And the second way that I'd like to answer it, which I'd like you to walk away with, is that with the James Webb, we have our first chance, our first capability of finding signs of life on another planet. Now nature just has to provide for us.
So as she said, nature has to provide the way, and she said also that luck is a matter and that. But more importantly, what humans can control is the technology. There you heard her talking about the Webb telescope, which is set to launch in October of 2018. Now, this will give us a much farther look into our universe than the Hubble or the Kepler telescopes have actually provided us. The problem with one of the hurdles that they face in this telescope is that it's very big. It's much bigger than the Hubble or than the Kepler. So one of the challenges that they have had is the fact that the rockets aren't big enough in order to get some of these bigger telescopes that they have planned out there. So in order to overcome that challenge, scientists at NASA have developed a way for the Webb telescope to fold into itself. After launching, after getting to a certain place, it will then go over a month's worth of practice in order to unload and actually open up to the full size. So that's one of the hurdles that they're facing. Also, another kind of technological advance that they're starting to talk about, and that they have a really awesome design for that kind of looks like a flower, is called a star shade. One of the problems that they have when trying to identify planets is the fact that the star that the planet is circling around is so bright that it's impossible or nearly impossible to be able to see a planet. So what they do is they developed a star shade that they could either have connected to a telescope here on Earth, or one that would block out the star's rays out in space, and they're hoping to get that out there in the future.
Well, what are some of the major hurdles in finding life out there?
There are a lot of different hurdles. Now, first of all, as I had mentioned, that star shine is a major hurdle. Also, the rockets, I had kind of talked about those. The rockets right now are simply not big enough or not powerful enough to launch the type of technology that scientists need in order to be able to collect all the data they need to be able to make up any type of really, massive discovery. Also the telescope size. Right now, the telescope sizes are much smaller than what the scientists are really hoping for. So the Webb is obviously a big step up from the Hubble telescope, for instance, or from the Kepler telescope, but it's not big enough. It's not big enough for what they have planned in the future. And then also there is the sheer number of planets. In the last 5 years alone, we have discovered that there are millions and billions of planets, and so for them to be able to find life, they have to go through all of these stars and to really kind of determine, what these stars are. And Matt Mountain put it best into what the future looks like.
But to find evidence of actual life is going to take another generation of telescopes. And to do that, we're going to need new rockets, new approaches to getting into space, new approaches to large telescopes, highly advanced optical systems, as David and Sarah showed us. But between us, between science, NASA's technology, and today's space enterprise, it's within our grasp for the first time in human history
So as you can see, you know, there is a lot of different discoveries, a lot of different technology. The future is bright, but it's going to take another generation of scientists and explorers to be able to really answer that question.
Alrighty, thanks for that cool info, Meg. That was RT correspondent Megan Lopez out at NASA.